So I'm chilling here in Jamaica, and I just got here to this villa about 30 minutes, maybe an hour ago, and I forgot I had to post for a client. Chilling in this pool, it's on the cliff of the beach, so you could literally see the ocean for miles and miles away inside of the pool, and I'm editing the video for work. It made me think maybe I should get on here and tell people about how I'm able to do this, like how I'm able to travel and do the things that I want as a full-time artist or creator. For those who don't know me, my name is Aviante, and I am a full-time content creator, social media director, and also a fine artist. And I feel like all of us as creatives, or all of us as artists, it's like we want to learn how to do this full time. Like, how can I paint? How can I write stories or scripts or do social media full time to where it actually replace my job, to where I don't have to work a 9 to 5? Because it's kind of hard to find that balance for where, okay, I have to pay my bills, I have to provide for children or for your family, and I have to, have to eat, I have to provide shelter. Like, my creativity is not doing that, That was the hardest thing to wrap my mind around, for real. I'm going to tell you my story and how believing in yourself, putting your back against the wall to the point where there's no other way but to make this work may be a way out. Me, I chose a more dramatic approach. I chose a more unsafe approach. For me, I believe that, sometimes you don't have to play safe. Sometimes you can't play safe. Sometimes you have to just run off faith when that comes to you. Sometimes you have to quit your job and literally go full-fledged inside of something and see if it works out or not. But you also have to have belief inside of yourself in order to make it happen. So in 2022, I decided that I was going to do art full time. And when I say art, I was going to do painting full time. I'm an oil painter, mixed medium, but predominantly oil paint. And I've always been an artist since I was a kid. As a kid, I got in trouble in class for drawing in the back of the class. I got in trouble for scribbling on the desk, making intricate pieces for my age on a desktop. And I had to erase it because I wasn't supposed to be doing that, The only class that I got consecutive A's in was always art class. It was always like pottery or like band or things like that, real crafty and creative things. And I used to draw a lot, used to paint a lot. But as I started navigating through life, I started to think, how realistic is this? Like, how is this going to actually make me money? Because you got a picture, I'm a millennial and I grew up around a lot of baby bloomers and people beyond that generation. I don't even know what go past baby bloomers, to be 100 with you. And it's like, all they know is work, have a job security. Don't leave somewhere unless you have a backup, so on and so forth. And that could be good advice, but they don't understand the concept of actually doing things on your own, or taking a risk, or there's ways to make money outside of a 9 to 5, out of a corporate job, out of making a pension or building a 401k, which is not bad things, but those are things that people specifically say that you should do as if there's a copy blueprint to success. And in 2024, there's not a copy blueprint. I mean, somebody could create something out of this world and it works out for them, or they could take a path that's unconventional and it completely works out for them. And that's the world that we live in. And I feel like us as millenniums and also Gen Z and so on and so forth, we have carved that path to where it's not just about 9 to 5. It's not just about pensions. It's not just about being 401ks and dying and retiring at 65 or however much the age was, and so on and so forth. It's much deeper than that. And I don't have that reinsurance around me letting me know that, what, if you want to do art full time, I believe in you. You want to write stories, you want to be a book, you want to make music full time, you don't want to go to college, I believe in you. I never quite had that. It was always security, job security. I had, mind you, I moved away to LA at 19 with literally no money in my pocket, sleeping in my car. Like, I am the epitome of taking risks, to be honest with you. And so I don't know why people thought that, like, I'm always just, like, try to chase security. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like in order for you to obtain a certain level of success, even when it comes to being an artist or being a great creator, you have to take risks. You have to carve your own lane. You have to walk in snow that's fresh and not ones that already have tracks in it. So 2020, I told myself I was going to pursue art full time. The art that I was making was very, very mediocre. I started doing acrylic paints. I was doing smiley faces and variants of it, kind of like trying to develop my signature style. And I thought that was a cool thing to do. But then I started doing like a lot of cartoonish pieces, such as Monopoly Man or the Pink Panther and so on and so forth. One of my biggest inspirations at that time was Alex Monopoly. Like, I really love his work. The point where I changed my name to J Monopoly. Like, I really was inspired by his pieces. And I just started making work. People started commissioning for the work that I had. And I thought that was pretty dope. I mean, I wasn't making too much money off commission, maybe like $100 or something. And truth, I was completely undercutting myself because cost of material, for the cost of me shipping it, for the time that I spent in it, and for the amount of money that I charged, yo, I was in the hole completely. Like, even the cost of material was more than $100. But you know, instead of sitting here complaining, because I always been like a glass half full and not empty type of person, you know what? I was just happy that somebody actually wanted to pay for my art. And I'm like, now I get to have my pieces in somebody's house. It's a step closer to the goal that I'm pursuing. It was in the middle of the pandemic, and money was just flowing during the pandemic. We called the pandemic the bandemic. And honestly, whether you were unethically getting money or you were employed as some, they were just giving money out. And things were flowing so well to the point where it's like I was selling so many commission pieces because people just had like the extra income. Time I was doing DoorDash too. And so it's like, if you was doing DoorDash during the pandemic, if you know, you know, like money was crazy. And there was some other things on the side that I was doing as well to help get my money up. But things was just flowing for me. And to the point where I was like living, like I was chilling. Like I had a few cars. I had probably like 3 cars. I had a nice apartment. I had so much going on. I was dating this woman at the time. She lived in New York. Like everything was just like chef kiss. You know what I mean? Everything was in place. But then there was one point in time where it's like life just started like lifing for real, because that pandemic money started to run out. So boom, like I'm trying to figure out like, okay, car this, car that, rent this, rent that. Like, I'm not really making as much money right now as I used to at that particular time. So how am I going to navigate this for real? Well, I couldn't, and everything literally starts to fall. Like this whole empire, this whole building, this whole pedestal that I was sitting on, it started to slowly tip over and I started to fall off of it. I had to start selling off cars because money was like, the girl I was talking to, it's like, I'm not big on expressing financial difficulties to women, especially if we're not like locked in for real, you know what I mean? But I still carried this energy, and she felt it, and she kept wondering like, why I never flew to New York? Why she always come here? Boo doo 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 woo. And it's like finally, like I told her, and like she ended up blocking me, you know what I mean? Cars got sold. The woman I was talking to, she ended up leaving. I was behind at least 2 months on rent at this point in time. Shit was literally falling down for me. Mind you, I was still doing art at the time, but the amount of art that I was selling, considering the money was running out, I wasn't selling as much neither. And some of my commission pieces, it wasn't really selling as much as I really wanted to. So it wasn't sustaining the lifestyle that I had, if that makes sense. And getting a job at like a pet cremation center, it's wild because I love animals. Like I love dogs. I had dogs my whole life. I have so much compassion. Like I love animals. And for me to sit there and like watch dead, or I don't know if I can say dead on here because chat, I'm usually on TikTok and you can't say that. But you watch unalive animals get ushered in back to back to back to back, bro, and the smell and the look of them, and that shit is so disheartening. At this time, I'm probably like hanging on by like a hair strand. Not even the string, because the string was tougher than the strand that I was hanging on. At that time, I started my TikTok journey, so I started posting videos, and I was gaining traction. So at this time, I probably had like 10K followers, which is pretty light, you know what I mean? But it was pretty big for me at that particular moment. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe if I could find a way to make money online, like selling products of some sort, maybe I could figure it out, because I'm always online anyway, so why not make money off of it? You know what I mean? I started looking at different videos. I was on Etsy, and I feel like, you know what? I could make journals and I could sell them on Etsy. I made a lot of niche journals, more like anime niche journals. When I started selling them, it actually started to bubble. Like I started getting sales. I'm like, oh, money, 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 money. Like it's coming in, and it's coming in to a point where it's like half of what like my monthly or my weekly checks are. And so I'm thinking like, what if I was to quit the job that I'm at now and I double down on this? I could really go up. So I called my father. Mind you, I'm really close to my dad. My dad chopped it up about almost everything. And I'm like, yeah, Dad, I'm thinking about leaving this and really just like doing these digital journals. He's like, man, just wait. Keep working that job and keep doing that on the side until that money, that income replace the income that you had. But my whole life has been built off risk, built off taking chances. But the thing is like, I feel like when I'm actually doing this after work, it's like that's what got me to where I am now. So if I was to cut out everything else and I have more room to do more, that's when I'm like, okay, you know what? Maybe I could turn this up further than what it was before. He told me that. The next 2 days, I still quit. And I went home and I started making journals. I started spending time at the time, hours on hours making journals, posting them, doing keyword researches, making sure I have different descriptions and titles, reposting the whole nine. Money started flowing, but it wasn't flowing how it was supposed to be or how I thought it was going to be. And so it failed. I wasn't making enough. I figured that I was going to have to move back home to Wisconsin So that's where I'm from originally, but I live in LA by myself. I had a thought. I'm like, you know what? I do social media for myself, and I managed to get 10K followers with 2 viral videos that hit over 1 million at this particular moment. I'm sure that I could do this for other people. I started soliciting my work on Upwork. I started listing myself for a social media manager, help manage your social media account, build followers, and the marketing aspect of it. I have never done this for people, but I've done it for myself, and I have proven results for myself. I'm pretty sure that I could do it for other people. That's where my logic was. But I didn't have enough proven results time over time in order for me to like book certain clients. Completely honest, I started to look at Fiverr, and I started to take people's screenshots of their own testimonials and putting it on mine. And I know I don't recommend people doing this. It's falsifying your own work, but I knew that I can do it because I've done it, but I just don't have any proof to show that I did it. So if I use somebody else and I do it, I can prove that I do it. You hear what I'm saying? Spent hours on hours on hours submitting requests, spending money to buy those little tokens on Upwork so you could keep submitting. And finally, it was this woman, her name was Sheila. Sheila, if you see this, shout out to you. Maybe my first social media management work. She was a model. She needed her followers to be at a certain level or for this agency to take her serious. So she said that she needed my help, and it worked out. Now her social media looking a lot more cohesive, a lot more professional, and we got her followers up and her engagement up as well. Ended up not booking with the next month because she said that she had to move and the prices was getting a little bit too high for her, which I understand. But now I have results. So now what I did is I went on LinkedIn and I went on Indeed and I started submitting my work and my resume to people, to companies and businesses, to where I can actually get full-time employment doing content creation and managing. I feel like content creators as managers or social media managers just started to bubble. Like really, people started to understand how important it was for their business, especially operating in the world of online. Ended up getting an interview for about 3 different places. 2 of them didn't go through, but the last one was for an HVAC company here in Los Angeles, and they ended up hiring me. So I went from making probably 0 to nothing to making about $4,000 a month or $4,500 a month on that one job. After working that job for about like 2 months, now I have more results, right? So now I could submit it to other people while I end up submitting it to a bunch of other people and doing independent contractual work. And then with a point where I was making, $4,000, $7,000 to $10,000 a month just off doing social media for others. Mind you, within this time frame, I'm still working on my own social media. I'm still making art. But me making art at this point with me trying to get better, me working on my craft. Because now it's like I went from working a 9 to 5 to transitioning into actually making my own money and doing this creative work or being in this creative space full time. The majority of my income was coming towards social media and content creation. It doesn't feel like work because it's things that I actually enjoy to do. Like I love being creative. I love making content. I love making videos. I love putting strategies together and so on and so forth. So it wasn't work for me. It was fun because I did this in my free time and I'm getting paid to do it. And when it came to my art, now I get to actually focus on bettering my craft and getting better at my oil paintings or learning new techniques and implementing them and making new pieces versus working a 9 to 5, trying to learn how to do this, and then like kind of putting art on the back burner. Now it's like side by side, if that makes sense. I'm able to be a full-time creative to the point where it's now like some of my art pieces are being shown in art galleries, and I'm able to sell pieces for a much higher level, and I'm able to make money off art and also off social media. The biggest takeaway all this is, bro, you have to really place all bets on you. You have to have ultimate belief that you can do it. And I know that shit always sound corny because, you see posters in school, or you up in middle school, people say, believe in yourself, believe in yourself. You might think like, yeah, that sounds good, you know what I mean? But honestly, you don't understand that shit is really the ticket. That's like the Willy Wonka golden ticket for if I would have listened to everybody else, if I would have played it safe, if I would have waited until this happened, if I never put my own back against the wall, like I made it that, you know what, this is plan A, there's no plan B. If this didn't work out, I would have to move back to Wisconsin, back with my parents, or back with some relatives, and leave my whole life here in LA. I put my back against the wall, but you know what? Sometimes I feel like I had to put myself in critical situations or tough situations to where I have to figure it out. There's no other way out. And you'd be surprised at how far you could get or with your brain or the capabilities that you could do when you don't leave yourself no other option but to make happen what you want to make happen type shit. Literally have to believe in yourself. You have to put all money on you, all money on the table, all money in. no money out type shit. That's the only way out, bro. And if you sit here and you play, say like, oh, I want to do this, but you know, I gotta whoop de whoop, like, bro, fuck all that. Because honestly, you're making excuses for yourself for real, and you're gonna end up passing away. You're gonna live with regrets. You're gonna have regrets for all this shit. You're gonna wish you became that. You're gonna wish you became that makeup artist. You're gonna wish you became that painter. You're gonna wish you became a full-time content creator. And you letting your fears win, bro. You letting your fears win. And if you're scared of failure, bro, like failure's a part of success. Cause you got a picture. Failure is not as bad as you think. Honestly, failure gets you closer to success. Because if there's 3 paths and you went down one and that one didn't work, okay, cool, that didn't work, I know I got 2 more. One of these 2 gonna work. And even if the next one you went down failed, you know for sure the last one is gonna be that. That's what failure is for real. It's a part of success. You have to rush into failure because only then will you get further to that win type shit. If I didn't rush into doing those digital books, I wouldn't have realized that that wasn't my path. So I had another path to go down, which is content creation. And that gave me the freedom to actually build up my artwork for me to sell and be in galleries and actually do content full time to where it actually makes me enough money to sustain a lifestyle that I live now. It's a life more fulfilled. It's a life more purposeful. And that's what we're chasing. We're chasing purpose. We're chasing abundance. We're chasing health. We're chasing to improve the livelihood of ourselves and also 110% of others. I'm here for y'all. If y'all need me, man, you know, leave a comment. Let me know if y'all want to hear anything else about my journey, about my artistry, about my move to LA, whatever the case may be. Leave a comment if you made it this far. Man, I love and I appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe and leave a like. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next video.